What up, rival gang, and anybody from the YouTube space seeing this video. So, based on the title, I'm sure you can tell I faced a lot of fatigue when it comes to this game. Right, I literally had to take off about a week and a half from this game because it was just becoming too much of a grind, and I'll explain why. Right, obviously I came back. The new heroes here, Hood, which is definitely fun. With this gameplay, y'all are going to see why I kind of go over these things. It was a great second half. So this is starting on defense, and man, when I tell y'all, like, we really had to lock in, we had to lock in. So I'm gonna let that play in the background while I go over some things. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right on into it. So the issue that I'm really having with the game more than anything, and y'all would probably say the same, is the community. Like, I feel like a lot of the players that we get are just very, very toxic. They're not team players. It's almost as like if almost as if like this is their first time playing a team-based shooter or something. And maybe it is, right? Maybe it is. But it seems, but you being toxic shouldn't have to do with your newness, if that makes sense. Like, I'm really trying to find the most respectful way to say what I'm saying, because I mean, this has been going on for seasons at this point. And honestly, it seems like it's getting worse. Maybe that might not be everybody's experience, but for me, it just seems like it gets worse every season, no matter what rank you are, right? So with that being said, you know, again, it makes it hard to have fun in a game when people that you're playing with can't help, you know, contribute to the fun, if that makes sense, right? Now, you can say, oh, you can just mute people and all these other things, but I come from an era where, you know, we talk, we communicated, right? Sometimes trash talk would happen, but in most cases, it would really be about the game, you know? Now, sometimes if it's your friends and stuff like that, obviously, they're your friends, right? So that could be a little personal. But outside of that, I mean, just a random stranger, yeah, you might get the N-word here every now and again, so I'm not going to act like racism never existed, but I don't know. It just seems like still your teammates were willing to work with you. You know what I mean? And it just seems like we're losing that element, but maintaining the worst parts of having a teammate in a team-based shooter game. So, you know, again, this isn't my first toxic game. You know, I played League of Legends. I played Valorant. You know, Valorant isn't as toxic as it once was, and I know the devs try to do their part as far as maintaining like a safe space, as far as over the communication, you know, with cursing and things of that nature. But I mean, that's only going to do so much. I mean, truthfully, honestly, it's only going to do so much, and that still doesn't fix the issue as to why I don't know, the community here just seems to have like the worst attitudes, the worst personalities, very non-social. And I get it, man. We're talking about comic book people for the most part, right? These people, for the most part, and this might be wrong for me to say, but very antisocial, very unverbal, non-communicative, you know. And when they do communicate, they just don't know how to do it. I don't know. Maybe that was a lot to say, but y'all get my whole point. It's just so many things that I just wish, like, man, these people need to work on, because it's a game at the end of the day. It shouldn't be taken so serious, but specifically to the community that plays rank like myself, you know, why queue up if your ultimate goal isn't to win? That'll never make sense to me. When I queue up for rank, I'm literally trying to do my very best, as best as I can, to help my team achieve those points so we can move up in rank, right? And that doesn't mean that I expect us to win every time, because there are going to be some games where you lose, and those games can still be great games. Like this game right here as an example. We won it, but I'm pretty sure the enemy team, yeah, they probably, you know, had the fact that they lost, but this was a good game. Like, these are the games that make the overall experience like, man, this is why I come back. But, you know, the community part of it, you know, the trash talking and all that stuff is really what ruins it, when 9 out of 10 games, that is literally what you're experiencing. And don't get me started as far as me being a black person, because y'all already know how that goes. Y'all are in those lobbies, y'all hear how they talk to us. Now I'll speak on the devs for just a moment. Now when it comes to the devs, y'all need to stop catering to the crybabies. Every time y'all make a change, and it sucks when it's the actual good changes, and y'all revert them. And y'all already know what I'm talking about. What y'all did with the supports is atrocious. Y'all actually did good at the beginning of the season, and because a small group of those people complained because they weren't doing as well or putting up the numbers that they were before. That was the whole point, I thought. That was literally the whole point. We thought y'all were putting up too many numbers, so therefore that's why y'all needed the nerf. But I guess that didn't mean anything to the devs, right? Because they know they want to sell those skins. And I know some people, we say that jokingly, but I mean, look at the type of skins that y'all put out all the time and what characters that you put out the skins for. So, I mean, for good reason, I can see why people believe that. But, yeah, man, like, y'all really got to tighten up and just listen to the community, because y'all, it felt like you did at first, and then next thing you know, y'all reverted, and it's like, okay, it just made our words feel like nothing. Like, we did all that just to go backwards. And then even the most recent nerfs, some of the stuff that isn't making sense, that I know we aren't asking for. Like I said, at least the majority. These changes that y'all are doing, I feel like maybe 5% of the community is asking for these things. I don't know what numbers, what stats y'all are looking at, but you know, I don't know. Like I said, the break was good because it did allow me to come back, and especially with the new character, enjoy the game a little bit more. But even now, I still don't feel like it's enough. I don't feel that same, like, oh my God, I can't wait to play Marvel Rivals, you know, every day anymore. It's kind of like, it's like something that's on my to-do list, but I'm not having fun knowing that I even want to do this, right? And again, I don't have to, but it's because I do love the game and I enjoy it so much. It's like, man, I do want to like put some time into it, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I don't know if some of y'all feel the same. You know, it's always good when, you know, a new season comes out, especially with a new character. Like I said, the Hood is fun. I really enjoy this character a lot. I think he's a great tank. He's not necessarily, you know, a killer or anything, right? He's not knocking off people like that, or maybe it's just me, maybe my aim, you know, like looking at this, maybe if I aimed at the head more, right? But with that being said, you know, y'all can tell he's really kind of like I don't know, he just holds his own. You know, we're just summing up to that. He can really hold the line in a lot of different ways, and I really like that about this character. You know, the dual pistols, those things are very fun. The ultimate, I think, is very fun. I do wish the ultimate applied anti-heal. I think that would be kind of dope. Maybe that's a little OP, but, you know, I think that'll be dope, especially for that situation, you know, with them vids right there. But, y'all tell me, are y'all feeling kind of how I feel a little bit? Are we kind of like forcing ourselves to play this game just due to the fact that we know it can be a good game? And I mean, it is a good game, but I wish the devs just truly listen to the community. I don't know, maybe if they did like a survey once a week or something to like actually get the opinions of not just streamers and content creators, y'all know what I mean, and just actually the community itself, so y'all can, you know, get a better idea of what's happening. Especially even when a new hero comes out, like, yeah, I'm sure we have Discord and things like that, but we need something that can hit the masses in general. If you log in and we have a survey or something we can fill out, I think that'll be better than Discord. You know, ask us, how do we feel about the new hero? You know, what abilities would you nerf? What abilities would you make better? You know, I don't think that'll be a hard thing to do, you know, so therefore you can look at the results after a certain amount of time and say, you know what, we can go ahead and make these changes. You know, instead of just, let us say, having that spin wheel in the office and just throwing darts, because that's kind of what it feels like. For example, the nerf on Venom in the swing. I don't think the swing necessarily needed a nerf. I think his overshield needed a nerf, because I think Venom survives too much. And I know that might be crazy to say as a tank, but I think the biggest thing that most of us hate is when he does the swing, and because he has so much HP, you can't clear the health in time, right? It's almost like he is somewhat immortal, and that's what makes him, at sometimes, a great tank, you know, depending, I guess, on what side of the fence you're on, but other times it is quite annoying, you know? So, with that being said, you know, I really do hope you guys are enjoying the game as best as you can and aren't experiencing, you know, a lot of the toxic ways of a lot of, I mean, Lord, if I can talk, the toxic ways of the community. Because again, is it every game? No. But like I said, it feels like half the time it's like 9 out of 10 games, right? Maybe it depends on what day it is, I don't know. But it seems like it just happens too often to where you get teammates that, like I said, I don't know what's going on, man. Like, you literally are communicating with them in the best fashion. Say, hey, do you mind doing this? Do you mind switching to this, right? And obviously you can play whatever you want to play, right? But if we're in a ranked queue, like I said before, there are just some things that you kind of expect out of your teammates that you would hope overall be done to add to the success, so that way you guys can have a great game, whether you win or lose, right? Because again, you can make all the right changes, but the team could just be a little bit better, right? Somebody has to be on the losing end of the stick. You just try to make sure it's not you and your guys. But I'm pretty sure we're almost at the end of the video. So I appreciate anybody that took the time to listen to what I had to even say. Hopefully, I really hope a lot of it didn't really sound redundant, because again, I know, you know, this was just a freestyle video where I'm just talking, venting. Like I said, I want the game to be successful. I want the devs to ultimately listen and come up with better ways to hear from the community. And like I said, I just wish that we actually just treated each other more so like teammates and not necessarily having ops on the team. Because again, I think that would just add to the overall fun if more people were willing to work together. And yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that. So like I said, anybody that made it this far, I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys continue to enjoy Marvel Rivals to the best of your ability. And with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace. Guess we'll watch this MVP scene real quick. Alright, dope. Peace.